Hello and welcome to Thermoprint Online. In this session we will create artwork to send to our vinyl cutter for cutting the thermocut sheets. I will be using CorelDRAW 4, and a big advantage with the thermocut sheet is that we can work with the exact cutting size, and in this case is 23 by 35. I can also change the reference page in Corel to the 23 by 35 so we can lay out our graphic to maximize the sheet usage. To do this, we'll go up to the upper toolbar here, and where you see 8.5 by 11, which is our reference page here. I'll change the 8.5 to 23, and the 11 I'll change that to 35. And you can see that the page changed here. Now I can create my graphics, lay it out on my sheet here, and I'll know how much kind of yield I get for the sheet. So we'll begin by going to our toolbar here on the left hand side, and I'll select the text tool, and we'll type in the word KUMITE. And if you never heard that word before, that is a Japanese word that loosely translated means crossing of hands, or you'll hear it referred to as sparring in karate. So now we have our word KUMITE, and I'm going to change the font on that. Right now it's Arial. I'll change that to Katana Shadow. And we'll enlarge it here a little bit so we can see it. Okay, now I want to import a clip art that I have. And I want to import it that way I don't lose my word KUMITE over here. It's a karate figure. And we'll go ahead and import that. Okay. Now we got our whole design here. What I want to do with the word KUMITE, I'm going to make an arch out of this. So in order to arch the top and the bottom, I can go into my envelope tool, and I'm going to show you how to do it so they both go at the same time. First I'm going to go to my envelope tool here, and as you can see, when I click on the envelope tool, the toolbar up at top also changes. But you can see there's a bounding box put around the word. And we also have some options in here. Like for here, this is the straight line mode, this is a double arc mode, and a single arc mode. And that's the one we're going to choose for our project today. And I'm going to hold down the control key on my keyboard, select the upper box and the lower box. And then when I stretch it out, you can see the bottom and the top go together on that. Go back to my pick tool, move this up slightly. And my overall dimensions be somewhere around 11 by 9. So I'm going to go in here, and being at 16, I'm going to change that to 11. And we're at 8.9, so that's close enough. So that looks pretty good. Now I can take my design, move it to the lower left-hand corner. And because we're cutting it with a vinyl cutter, and the adhesive side is up on these sheets, that I want to mirror my image. We can do that by going up to the toolbar up here and mirror horizontally. And you can see now it's in reverse. Now I'm going to do multiple copies, and there's different ways of doing this too, but the way I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to duplicate this, and when I duplicate something, I would prefer to duplicate on top of itself. I can accomplish this by going up to Tools, go to Options, and under Options, under Document, you click on General, you can see the duplicate offset. And this is default of the program at 0.25. So I'm just going to change that to 0 and 0 and say OK. Now you don't have to do this. You can just do it offset and then just select it and move it. But the Control D to duplicate it, and it'll duplicate it right on top of itself. I just move it over. Good. Select both graphics here. Again, duplicate it. And I'll move it up. And Control D again. And what I'll do, I'll duplicate it where I spaced at. Good. Alright, I still have some excess material up here, some waste material. I don't want to lose this, because I can use this for later for another graphic, stars, or if I want to send out some samples to customers. This is a great place to do some samples. Something else I prefer to do for cutting is to put some cut lines in the into the design, and what that does is allows me to cut, and just a little bit easier on the weeding part. I can accomplish this by going over to this tool here, and this is the fourth tool down, and I'm going to select a Bezier tool. And if you look on the left here, you can see the ruler up here. I'm going to put it right at 9. And again, look over on the left here, 9. That'll give me a straight line. And I'm going to duplicate this twice, so I'm going to Control D twice. Everybody has their own way of doing these things, but this is the way I prefer. Now I'm also going to put a vertical cut line in here, so I go back to the Bezier tool here. I'll go right in the middle here, which would be right about there. And I can put an exact same spot down here. And that'll give me a straight line on the vertical. Okay, I'm not touching the graphic anywhere, so I'll be able to cut pretty close in there, and I do have some, again, some waste material up here that I do want to save. So I'm ready to go to cutting. And with mine, what I'll do is export it as an EPS file and import it into my cutting software. So let's go to cutting.